Hey there, Jody here for Journal 10. Video maybe up to 10 minutes as needed thoroughly to address the response. So, able to analyze oneself and be aware of how emotions and responses affect others, crucial component to developing a therapeutic relationship, which is something I definitely recognize my own prejudice, my own bias, my own triggers. Limitations and strengths while developing the ability to appropriate manage and these issues arise. So, final journal entry. Review your previous journal entries and reflect upon your success in achieving this as well as your goals stated in your first video. The goal in my first video would be trying to develop a relationship with patients without my own bias, which is very difficult. I did notice that. And having a patient that continues to come back and not sending them to psych. I did meet my goals. I feel like even in my family practice, I changed a lot of the way I do things. I felt a little more empathetic than I normally do. I feel like being an OD nurse, you have this like crusty kind of, thing about, oh great, you're here, I don't know why you're here. I wish you weren't here. And I feel like, we get that attitude of, unless you're an emergency, don't come to see us. So I feel like that has been a very hard transition for me, becoming an NP, going into psych, learning to be more empathetic to people, stopping, listening, pausing. I do feel like I met that goal. What feelings, prejudice, bias did you experience during your clinical experience, and how did you manage them? So I had a patient who was depressed, wasn't doing anything to help the depression. So when I suggested that she exercise 5 minutes a day, she started yelling at me. She said she wasn't lazy, that she was just overweight. I feel like that was a huge bias for me and a prejudice that I had a hard time with, because I want people to be healthy and I want them to take a little bit of responsibility for themselves. So for that, during my clinical experience, I managed them by trying not to react with my facial expressions, with my body language, with the things I said, having a therapeutic relationship with the patient to try to understand where she's coming from, instead of thinking, why can't you walk 5 minutes a day? Like, come on. That's what I was thinking. But I think that I did manage it properly, and I brought it in, and I sat and I listened to her. Even after that, she went on to tell me how she was sexually abused, how things were going now, and how I was able to help her with her depression and anxiety and actually help her get to the 5 minutes a day. So I managed them by bringing in my prejudice, which was very hard because she was yelling at me. So that was a rough one. How do I manage anxiety and self-doubt or uncertainty? That's a hard one too. I feel like it's kind of, whenever you're doing any kind of medicine, you have a little anxiety of, God, I hope this patient's okay. I hope that what I gave them is working. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And I feel like my anxiety is not as high as it was when I first started the program, because I'm able to start somebody on anti-anxiety meds, anti-depression meds, bipolar medications, things that I would have been scared to death to do a year ago, 2 years ago. So I do relax a lot more, and my self-doubt and uncertainty is less because I've helped more patients. I feel like the more patients you help, the more patients that get better, things get better, and you just feel better because people come back and they're like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. One patient that was smiling didn't smile at me the whole time before that. So I think it's really, the more you do it, the less anxiety and self-doubt you have. And then understand your insights. Did you develop during clinical experience? Or did insights what understanding or insights? Understanding and insights was definitely the pause and talking to the patient. And someone's at my door, I'm sorry. talking to the patient and then giving them space to talk about what's going on. That has always been hard for me coming from nursing, because you kind of go, okay, well, what's next? What's next? What's A and B and C? What's next? So that for me has really changed. I've really slowed down a lot with that. Has reflective practice impacted you as a person, student, provider? Absolutely. It has 100% changed the way I do things. I reflect a lot when I go home. I should have done this. I should have paused. I shouldn't have made that face. What could I do better next time in order for the patient to open up, instead of clamming up and leaving and saying, I don't want to talk about this anymore. So I definitely think this has changed the way I practice quite a bit, which is good, because I feel like if you become a better clinician, people trust you more and they want to be in your presence and they want to come and see you more. Will you continue to use reflection? Absolutely. I will continue to use reflection because you have to. You can't think you're perfect. No provider is. We all have our downfalls. We all have our imperfections, I guess. And we all have things we're really good at. So, and learning new things and learning psych is definitely hard. And I feel like it was harder than my F&P, honestly, just because I never really delved into a lot of mental health before, because I just wasn't that excited whenever I got somebody in the ER or when I got someone in family practice. In my state, you can't practice psych, so it's a lot different now, which I like. So I think that is everything I have. And thank you. Have a great day.